17, we start looking at statistics. There's a lot of this that I'm not going to cover in this video, mainly things like a histogram, a bar graph, things like that. If you need a refresher, you should go back and look at the text on making bar graphs and things like that. But I'm going to assume that you're okay with that. In these sections, we're going to see some different variables showing up. When we talk about x, we're referring to a particular data value in a set. When we say n, that's mainly going to be referring to the number of values that we have. X with a line over it, x bar, is the mean of a sample compared to the Greek letter mu, meaning mean of a population. If you think about that, the most common mean that we talk about is for a sample. We almost never survey an entire population. So we rarely have mu, but we very oftentimes can find x bar. We can use that to make inferences about mu. So what we're going to deal with today is a lot of frequency tables, finding the mean, median, mode, those sort of things from these tables. So here we have data values and frequencies. The mean, remember, you add up all the values and divide by how many there are. Well, in this, the number of things that there are, we have to total up the frequency column. So we write, and there's 1, 3, there's 1, 4, there's 3 5s, so that's a total of 15. And that's what we're putting on top. We're adding up the f times the x, because that's how many things there really are. And we could use our calculator to do this too. But we add up this column, we divide by the total number of things, and that gives us x bar. Or if we jump to our calculator, we can go into the stat menu, edit our lists, and I've got more data in here than I need for this, but in L1 I have those data values. In L2 I have the frequencies. What I can do now is go into stat, over to calc, and I want to do one variable stats. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to specify that I'm using list 1 and list 2. The first list that you put in here is always the data value. The second is always the frequency. Here's our mean, 6.95. The median is the middle. So if I cross off those 5 things, that will cross off with these 5. The 8 and the 7 will cross off, and the middle is going to be in this group of 7s. So the median for this data set is 7. The mode is the most frequent. So again, there's 15 7s. That's our mode. Data tables sometimes give us range of values. So this table says that there are 11 people between the age of 21 and 25. We're going to use the same idea as the previous, but we can't insert a range of data values in for this first row. We need to give a specific data value. What we're going to do is we're going to use the midpoint. We're going to use the midpoint of each class. 21 to 25, the midpoint there is 23. And those midpoints become our data values. Frequencies, we're still going to add that up. We get 137. Now we're going to do the midpoint times the frequency to get that f times x. That's this column. We then add those up. So we have 5,161. We divide by 137. Our mean age is 37.7. And again, we can use the calculator to do this for us. Into our list, we can put the midpoints. Notice list 3, I have the midpoint for each class listed. In list 4, I have the frequencies. This time, when I do my one variable stats, I'm going to specify list 3 and list. There's our mean, 37.7 years. So we get the same value either way. If you're permitted a calculator, I would not take the time to do something like this by hand. The numbers get big, there's lots of places to make mistakes. If you're careful typing it into your calculator, it can go a lot quicker. That's all for this session. Happy hunting.